Hi, this is Simon Phillips. This is I Love Networking. So who would you say are your top 3 networkers and why? Nice easy question.
Oh yes. Who would I put down as my top 3 networkers? I think William Buist would be up there. Yeah. Very, very well known, got a massive network, and he's very, very credible with the people who know him. Okay. People rely on and trust his advice.
There's a chap I think that a lot of people know called Martin Dewhurst, who does a lot of work in Africa and with a lot of help around some of the rather tragic situations in Africa. Great guy, really well connected, and I see him, he listens better than anybody I know. When you're in a conversation with Martin, you have 100% attention 100% of the time.
Having met people who have met Bill Clinton, everyone who's done that, you hear the same thing back. He made you feel like you were the only person in the room, and he shows an interest in other people. I talked about taking yourself out of the equation. Yeah. You hear that about a lot of top politicians. You hear about Richard Branson as well. And I've heard a lot about the differences in style between Barack Obama and Bill Clinton. And a lot of people saying that Obama isn't the people person, but Clinton is.
Bill Clinton is absolutely a great networker. A couple of people have told me of him having visited a golf club in Ireland 30, 40 years after he'd previously been there, and recognising somebody. And not only recognising somebody, but asking them about his family and the people that he knew. He just seems to come over, I think, as genuinely interested. Now, obviously, at that level, he's going to have all sorts of aides briefing him and notes and things. But I don't think you can fake that.
Oh my life, that's a difficult question, isn't it? Obama, I think he's a good networker. Okay. I haven't met him yet, but I think he's 2nd or 3rd in my LinkedIn connections.
At most.
And you don't get to the White House without not just having an address book, but knowing how to leverage it, which is the dark side of networking, if you like, but it's the important side of networking. You build as many relationships as you like, but unless you have people who are invested in you and willing to help you, and you're able to ask for that help, you don't achieve anything. So I don't think anyone gets to the top level of politics without having a network.
So the top networker would be Andy Lopata. Andy has most definitely brought me some of my best introductions. Who would number 2 be? Number 2 might be, in fact, Tom Ball.
So it's got to be Ollie Barrett, who's known as Britain's most connected man. He's just the most giving, understanding, supportive. He just does it with a very true heart. He's always trying to understand you as a person. Possibly Steve Moore, who's now looks after he's head of the Big Society Network. Again, just very much of a giver, listens, very, very fast paced, connects lots of people, has always in the last 24 hours met the perfect person for you. And
goodness me, a very obvious one that you and I both know, obviously, is Thomas Power. Thomas Power, huge networker with the Academy. He was one of the people that helped me to get what networking is about.
I think Thomas Power does come up there. He knows a lot of people moderately well. And he does try and put people together as much as possible. So for visibility, probably Thomas.